Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie podcast. I'm Charlie Perry, and tonight's guest is Devin Byrnes. He is running for council at large in the city of New Bedford, Massachusetts, and that's my hometown, his hometown, and I am glad to get him on here. It's always good to have people that you know on here, and people that you support, and I support you 100% with this endeavor. A lot of people don't realize that running for office and campaigning is a very difficult thing because you have to volunteer your time and get the message out there
Yep.
on why you are the candidate to vote for. And you definitely got my vote, man. And I don't even have to tell you that. And only because I like I like you since day one. Um, and secondly, for a man to or anyone to hold down a business in downtown New Bedford for as long as you have will get my vote every single time. It's a difficult place to run a business, and you have done and maintained 5-star quality service, and I
Thank you
just
very much.
that would give me that would get you my vote instantly. And so Devin, how was your day other
It
than
was good.
busy?
Thank you so much for that, Charlie. Thank you for the intro and thanks for having me. I reached out and I wanted to touch base with you, and I've always wanted to check in with you and stuff and past campaigns and checking along the way. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit and thought it was a good idea, and I appreciate the support. My day
Yeah,
was good. It was busy. As you said, the campaign's been full throttle lately. Busy during the day. The restaurant's been going really well, thank God. And the night times have been pretty much full with every night this week I have something going on. So it's a good busy. It's a good busy because you're out, you're in the community, you're doing things, and you're meeting people, you're hearing their concerns, you're trying to advocate for your changes you want to see in New Bedford. So that's the kind of busy you want. But
mhm.
it's been a lot. So it's been good though.
I'm glad. I'm glad that first of all, anytime downtown New Bedford's busy, I'm happy. It's one of my favorite places in the city. Even if I'm just sitting down there, and I just like being there. I forget about a lot of things. I don't mind people watching, and it's great, just watching and laughing, doing all the good
Yeah,
stuff. So
there's no shortage of people watching. There's no shortage of interesting subjects down here in downtown New Bedford. So
yeah,
that's for
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I feel safe down there. I feel confident down there. And I usually run into someone that I haven't seen in a while. And that's the craziest thing is
Yeah, it's nice.
um,
I like
yeah,
a lot of the businesses down here. I feel like it's kind of a tight knit group. We kind of all look out for each other and check in with each other. And when we need stuff, sometimes we'll borrow stuff from each other or support each other. Spread our dollars around. So sometimes we'll share employees. So I think it's a
mm,
nice little sort of culture down here as well.
it is. Craziest thing is I seen that in action, right? And where the businesses down there support each other, and especially with just items, hey, I just need this. I don't feel like going 3 miles down the road to go get what I need. Do you have it? And I've seen that happen.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah,
good.
pretty cool.
The
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. The I'm glad you put your hat in the ring, and the reason being is because I truly believe that this is, and we say it every time in every campaign, every election, but needs to be a change, and when candidates like you step up to the plate, um, and there's quite a few good ones, man. You jumped into a difficult race, man, and but I know you're one of the best. You are definitely one of the best.
Thank you.
Um, so as you go ahead and do this, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome, and I was like days, days. I missed the deadline, but I was days about run. Someone approached me, at least three people approached me about running, and I said, I don't know, I'm done with this, and then somebody pissed me off, and I was like, you know what, I'm running. And that usually happens with me, and it's
Yep.
crazy,
Yeah.
and pissed me off to say, you're right, you know what, you're not the candidate I want representing me.
Right.
I'm going to run against you, because I think I can do a better job. And that's usually what gets me to put my name in the hat. So,
Yeah.
all right, this is going to be different. Campaign number 2 for you, right? The reason why it's going to be different because you got 2 kids now.
Yep. Yep.
And and
Yeah,
the last one, I didn't think you had 2 back then.
yeah, I had 2 kids last time. And it's only for the support of my wife at home, where I had to just, like you mentioned earlier, Charlie, running is really intense. It's a full-time commitment, and I'm trying to pack every hour I can with stuff related to the campaign. So if you don't have that support at home, it's why do it, but I had to discuss with my wife. She's great. And she said, I think that this is something you really want to do, something you've been talking about doing, and something that, sort of what she had said is, you don't want to be 10 years down the road and say, oh, I should have run that time or whatever, no regrets, essentially. So put your hat in the ring, give it your all. She's here to support me. And we'll figure out the way to make it work at home. I know that it's challenging when I get in that, obviously the schedule's it's a lot, given that I'm also running a business, but we're resourceful, we're smart people, and we can figure it out. And I think this is important enough that you need to figure it out. So I thought it was a good opportunity for me to run it again. I had just run, and I was a little bit on the fence about it at first, but after having a couple discussions with her and feeling that support at home, it made it an easy choice.
Yeah, it's
my third city, and I think I have some things to offer the city, and almost because of that reason, Charlie, where you mentioned I have 2 kids and I have a business here, that's almost makes me that makes me want to do it. That's like the why of doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm so invested here, emotionally. My family's here. My father moved here, which you met him before. He's moved. He's not native here, and my in-laws came up from Philadelphia as well. So we've got 3 generations here, and I'm trying to just make New Bedford the best it can be. And if I can be a small part in doing that, then I'm all in.
True. And that's what I like when candidates come up and step up to the plate because their heart and soul is in it, and there's no vanity to it. There's no gathering titles just to have a title. That's not with you.
Right.
You can really truly see that, especially when I'm just around you, whether it's having a conversation or out in public or at your business. You acknowledge everybody. You see people come in, and you may be busy as busy can be, and but you do take a step out from the back and at least acknowledge your customers, and I like that.
I try to. Sometimes I get the blinders on, but I do the best I can, and I'm just thankful that the community supports this place and supports my employees and supports my vision in this place, and has since day one. I felt like New Bedford welcomed it, and I think we have a good product, and I think we provide a good service. But I think also, I couldn't have a business without the people supporting it. So, and similarly it's always important to thank people and to let them know that you appreciate them. I mean, whether it be a worker or a customer or a voter, just let them know that they're heard and let them know that they're appreciated, that you don't take it for granted, essentially, people for granted.
The and I like that. I'm the same exact way. As a city councilor, right, at large.
Yeah.
And you getting elected, what can you offer to a business coming into the city of New Bedford?
What can I offer the city as a city?
What can you offer a business, just a business owner? Someone coming into your city, y'all the city council at large. What are you going to offer them as far as what you're trying to do for them? And
one is, I think that small business advocacy and looking out for small businesses is very important. I think that having someone who's been doing it for 17 years and who's in the trenches and who knows some of the bureaucracy with City Hall or some of the things with some of the the stepping points of sort of the growing points of starting a business. I think having that resource on the city council, someone who knows it, someone who's lived it, I think that's really valuable. And then I think also just by running a business, I think that I've developed some skills that I think would be an asset to the city council. One is, resilience in the sense that, like, I don't know. I mean, it's like anything. X amount of years, 17 years in, I could have closed the doors probably 5 or 6 times at this point. There's certain times where, but you keep going because it's worth fighting for. And similarly, like, I'll bring that same sort of energy to the city. Things aren't always going to be easy, and there's not always going to be there's going to be hard decisions to be made. But I think that I can bring that to the city, and also fiscal responsibility in terms of the budget. Again, everyone wants to say, my taxes are too high, and that's all true. Taxes are high, but I'm not going to say I'm going to reduce your taxes, and we're going to have the best schools, and we're going to have a fully staffed police, because all these things cost money, right? But I think it's just having some fresh eyes to go through the budget and to, I'm not going to say cut taxes, but to make sure that we're getting our money's worth. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, and I know the budget's tight. I'm not saying that I'm going to go in there and be some miracle worker. But I know that I think having sometimes some new ideas and new perspectives, people who haven't been in it for as long and coming in with a new perspective, I think that could be valuable. And also, I just, like you said, Charlie, I know people on the right, and I know people on the left, and I deal with everyone every day. I deal with fishermen, and I deal with students, I deal with artists, I deal with city officials every day, young, old, and the whole gamut. So I think that I'm accessible, and I think that I like to work with people, and I like to talk with people. So I don't think I'm so set in my ways that I'm always going to try to figure out a solution, and I'm going to try to work with everybody.
Yeah,
so I think assets on the council that I can bring to the council.
And that's a good tool to have, right? That your hard work, your conversation, your network makes your job that much easier, especially at your business and being in the city council, because it makes it, the best thing I had was my phone and my access, my contacts, right?
Yeah.
And you have that too. So, and it would be good, as you're walking around downtown or anywhere in the city, and all of a sudden you get a question given to you, and you have some answers or don't have some answers, but you can say, hey, I think I can help out with this. Let me ask somebody I'm going to ask somebody, what can I do with this? And you pick up your phone and you call whoever you have to.
Right.
And then you say, hey, this is Devin. I have a constituent here that's wondering about something going on, some work in their area. And, how long is this going to last? It's very important because they have a family outing in the backyard. They're just worried about the construction that's out there.
Sure.
And then you can just call. And that's just a small piece, but it can go a lot of different places. I mean, what if it's a question about Eversource and you talk to someone day in and day out from Eversource, just being in your business, and say, hey, I got a question here. I got something that's bothering me. I want to talk to you about it. Can you help me out? Lead me in the right direction. Yeah,
Right.
Devin, no problem. Boom. That tool is so valuable. It's priceless. And,
Yep.
and so I know that's something that you can do, and less, more or less better than someone else that's in the city council. And the there's we get off this. They did something about parallel products up the north end. What was
Yep.
that? The health department and
Yeah.
and vote 2-1.
Yep.
Heavy topic. Even it goes back many years. I can say at least 6. And and finally, it comes to, here it is, 2025, and it's finally come to a little bit of resolve. It's not there at the finish line, but
Right.
those situations could be very, very um, debatable and controversial, and as a counselor, you got to stand.
Yes.
And there may be times that you're going to have to stand alone, Devin. Are you ready for that?
Yes, I am. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am. And as far as the parallel products, I mean, I just want to take a moment. I wasn't involved with it. I'm not going to say I was involved with it from the beginning or something. I definitely kind of, it touched on it a little bit in 2023 when I was running. I was aware of it, and I know that it kind of came to a head recently in the last 2 months or so, 3 months. I know there have been people working on it for years, as you mentioned, and I know it's been a real concern for years. So I just again want to give props to the Board of Health for doing the right thing on that. I have been attending some more of the meetings towards the end, and for that vote to go that way was a major victory, not only for the people in the North End and the advocates and the activists in that area, but it was a huge victory for the city. I don't think some people in the West End or South End realize how that would have potentially impacted New Bedford. Well, it would have impacted it directly, but in terms of long-term effects, we've been a community, as people have mentioned. I'm not saying I came to these epiphanies myself. I'm saying I'm regurgitating information here, but we have been a community where we have had Superfund sites, we've had brownfields, we've had all these issues with, polluting and environmental justice issues for a long time. And for us to sort of evade this latest one, which I think would have been a real black eye, again, not only to the North End, but to the whole city and the potential health of everyone. So that was a major victory. And quite honestly, Charlie, I had been to a few of those meetings towards the end, and I was a little nervous. I didn't think the Board of Health was going to vote it down, and they did. And it was that was amazing. That was amazing. So again, I want to give props to the Board of Health for doing the right thing and for standing up for the people's health, which is what they're there for. And I'm sure that, as you said, South Coast Renewables they're gonna appeal. But I think for now, we've made it. We've said it loud and clear. It's not going to be easy to put that here.
Yeah, and yeah, it's how do you not listen to that area, that ward? There's one thing is, like, speaking to many residents up there, when I had the opportunity to, the sincerity and dedication and loyalness for the real estate that they own, the community that they were raised in. They stand strong with it, and there's not anyone's going to go in there and try to bulldoze or push them around or bully any of them around, especially something where there's a health concern. And I tell people in a small picture, right? I says, how many times have you traveled the city of New Bedford and you were behind a garbage truck and you couldn't bear it? That even putting your windows up, it was just unbelievable.
Yep.
That you couldn't even get away from it. Now imagine something like a plant right in the area, or tons and tons of trucks. Or was it 278 trucks a day, whatever it was? I'm paraphrasing here, but there was just an abundance of trucks going in the area, and chances are you're going to get that stench.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I've seen it on smelled it from an airtight tanker, where it was taking sewage and raw sewage from one area to another, and it was sealed up, and I could still smell it. And
Yeah.
that's a sealed container. So, but anyways, how's it going? How's the reception? How's the reception that you're receiving from the city of New Bedford? Can you hear me, Devin? All right, we're gonna find out what's going on with Devin. He kind of froze up. This candidate is just amazing. I'm gonna read some things from his. Devin, you there?
Yeah, I apologize. Something happened with the phone. I apologize, Charlie, but I think we're good now. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. What is the perception and reception that you're receiving from the city of New Bedford?
The reception, I think, has been really positive. For my run, I think it's been very, very positive. I think people are excited. I think people think that I can bring some value and some new perspectives to the city council. And I think that overall, I think a lot of people were pulling for me last time, and I didn't quite get in. So I think, given that Linda Morad stepped down, and there was an empty spot, open seat, I think they were excited. And when I decided to run, I think people are behind me. So I think that overall, really positive. It's not, it's not without its bumps along the road, Charlie. And there's days where, you're wondering, is it going well, or is it going as well as I thought? Or, did this one miss, or did this one hit? There's some of that sort of self-reflection that occurs. I think is just only normal for someone who's, takes things to heart. But I think overall it's going really well.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Linda Morad, because I'd like to get her on here and just pay a tribute to her dedication and to maintain for all these years, and whether people are for or against her or right in the middle, that deserves some kind of tribute. So I'm going to try to reach out to her and definitely get her on here so we can pay tribute to it. Some people are camera shy; they don't really want to come on, or they want to put themselves in a certain stage, and I get it. But I'm going to at least acknowledge and bring it to her and see what's what.
She served for a long time, and I think anyone who puts themselves out there and tries to serve the community to the best of their ability, I think deserves some credit. And I think she was always fiscal watchdog, which I think is sometimes needed on the city council. Mm-hmm. We didn't always agree, but you're not going to always agree with everybody, right? I mean, that's going to be part of the thing. But I think overall, she did. She was there for the long haul and did a great job, did a great service. So
true, and I'm glad she was in place. And let's just face it, I'm Charlie Perry, and I probably argued and disagreed with everyone on that council. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to actually, one of the latest things was the suit that was filed against the city for the hiring of the new chief.
Yep.
Well, a lot of people in that area, in that chambers, this is not their first hire, right? This is not the first hire they've been around,
right?
When it comes to New Bedford Police, whether it's pointing someone. So anything that you're bringing up now, or finding that there's some kind of problem with it, you should have bring it up a long time ago. It's not their first rodeo when it comes to hiring a police chief or appointing an acting chief. So, but so I just think that you definitely great guy for this, and I think that you're gonna definitely find out that that everything you believe that you could do in city council, you're going to be able to do it, and or at least give it the greatest fight ever. I don't think you're going to be. If I got to fight with someone, I'm hoping that Devin's along my side to to do that with me. So the can I got a brain freeze here. The primary is when? Is it?
The primary is actually from tomorrow. So the primary is October 7th. And again, I think that it's because the city council at large race is the only race on the primary. It's going to be potentially pretty low turnout. I'm hoping that's not the case, but and so you're only turning out for that one race. So I implore people just to get out and vote, because I think that your vote is really going to be very impactful. If there's less people voting, obviously your vote counts that much more. And it's really important to get out and vote in general, but I also for this race, because it's going to bring the pool from 12 candidates down to 10, and give us a really good idea of like where we stand in terms of the mix. In terms of the placement of the votes. Obviously, you have the incumbents, the 4 incumbents, and you have a bunch of very interesting challengers. You have eight other people who are challenging to try to become city councilors and serve the public. So I think it's important that people get out there and find out what they're all about and make their best decisions. And I'd love one of those votes to go my way if people are listening and want to. So,
yeah,
that's what someone told me. You always got to ask for the vote. Don't just assume. You have to ask.
Ask, yes, and it's so true, because you never know. I mean, I called a couple of relatives and trying to get them to vote for certain people, and I'm like, saying, hey, I already got a sign on my house.
Right.
I didn't know that person was a good friend of yours. I would have loved to talk to them. And I said, well, you still can.
Yeah.
You still can. Just because you put a sign on your house, that the witching hour is when you're right there in front of that ballot casting your vote. And so I always ask, and I'm going to be asking about you. And I hope everyone realizes that signs don't vote. People do. And you gotta talk to some people, even if it's like talking to a sign. You still gotta talk to them, right? You still pose those questions and say, look, I'm Devin. I'm Devin Byrnes. I'm running for city council at large, and just be informed, be like you always are, I think I don't want to put any kibosh on it, but I'm voting for you, and I know some more people are. And you said the low turnout, right? The low turnout is we don't want that,
right.
But it makes important that Charlie Perry talks to 100 people in his family, because 100 votes is very, very important to Devin in his race, especially where we assuming that something may happen like this with a low turnout.
Right.
Ross Grace Jr. says, hi, Charlie. Hey, Devin. Think you're a good man and great candidate. Charlie was talking about the lawsuit regarding the hiring of the police chief. Can you talk more about this, please? What was your thoughts?
Ross is asking me my thoughts, I'm sure. So how you doing? So as you mentioned, Charlie, I think that there is a precedent, and the precedent says, for the most part, that the council doesn't have to approve the new chief, that's often appointed by the mayor. So I think in terms of precedent, in terms of it going to a lawsuit, I think the council will probably lose that fight. I think going forward, I think it's a nice step. I think it's a nice gesture to have the council, and they could have called Mr. Thody in already, but it would be nice to have more input on it. But I think in terms of going backwards, as in terms of a grievance, saying, hey, we weren't included in this and we should have been, I don't think there's a precedent to support that. So that's just going legally speaking. Personally, I think I would like to have a say in that in terms of the new police chief if I was a counselor. But obviously I'm not in that position, so I can't. I know where the council is coming from, was what I'm saying, but I think that in terms of a lawsuit and in terms of precedent, I don't think it's going to go their way. So
I agree with you, and the it's right now the guy's seen him in action. He's been doing and some of the candidates that were running are trying to get interviewed for the position are very dear friends of mine,
Yep.
And I was hoping that they hired within, but that's not the case. And so he's here, but I see he's already trying to get involved, doing many things, reaching out to the community with many things. I have some people in City Hall, City Council that done some things for the country of Cape Verde, and the chief's already involved. He's been doing things, and some people are not even aware of the Cape Verde Islands,
right?
And but he jumped on board and has helped me and the E. Lima Foundation, and we're sending some materials over there, and so the chief's on board, and he's helped out.
Yeah, and I've met him. I've met him a few times, and from what I've seen, we have police walking the beat downtown, which I haven't seen in probably 10 years.
Yeah,
and it just seems like there's more of a presence in the street, which I know is challenging because I know numbers are down. So, however he's making that happen, I have to applaud him for that. And he's been accessible. I mean, I've seen him at a bunch of different events. I've seen him. He's come into the shop a few times to get some salads, which I obviously appreciate. And he seems to be receptive, and he seems like he wants to become a part of the community. So I think that's a good thing. Obviously, in terms of grievances in the department and who feels maybe like they were passed over and stuff, I can't speak to that. I'm sure there are definitely other qualified individuals who maybe felt like they should get the shot and they didn't. But that's
it's the interview process everywhere. So things happen, and I think that all in all those candidates are going to still maintain their professionalism and still do their job to the best of their abilities, and still supervise the men and women that are in the department. And also be a resource for the chief, and make this a better place. Ross Gray says, thank you for the last question, and there are a lot of candidates, which is a good thing, and a lot of strong entrenched incumbents. What makes you stand out? And thank you, Devin. Well, it seems like I don't know if that's a question, but what makes you stand out? And I think
I'll speak to it. I think that I guess again, sort of what I have to offer is I feel like I'm a community guy. I feel like some of the counselors, I'm not going to say they're not community driven. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just feel like I'm accessible, and I'm only speaking to myself for myself here, but I'm accessible, and I try to get out and about. And if elected, I definitely try to be around as much as possible, and to be approachable, and through my business to be approachable, and through my community action be approachable. And I think some of the other things I mentioned, I mean, I think I'm a creative person. I think I'm a problem solver. I think I'm diplomatic. So I'm perfectly willing to work with people. I think sometimes when people have been in positions for a long time, maybe they don't work, there's a past where they don't work with people as well, or they don't want to work with people as well. If you have a good idea, and I think it brings value to the city, I'm going to support it. Doesn't matter what I have relationships already, personal relationships with some people in the council. Some of them are better than others. And that's just natural, human interaction, right? And not everyone's going to agree all the time. But if someone who maybe I don't get along with as well has a great idea and something that I think is going to really bring value to the city, then I'll support that. It's not, I don't think having, these sort of camps or ideas of, it's my side versus your side is going to serve the people at all. I think, and I'm not saying that's only going on in the city hall. I'm saying that's in government in general, so I think that I'm willing to work with everybody. So I think those are some of my traits that I think would really bring value to the council.
Yes. This next question, you answered it previously in beginning of the podcast, but it's from Kel Bell, and it says, "Hi, what is the plan to try and lower the taxes? How much taxes affects homeowners is very concerning." And you talked about it earlier.
Yeah. So lowering taxes, I don't think, unless you really lower services, I don't think it's going to happen. I think that there's ways to go through the budget. The budget is so tight because we have X amount allotted to education, X amount allotted to insurance, and X amount allotted to pensions. And these are things that are, it takes up like 76% of the budget, those things alone. Then you still have police department, you still have fire department, you still have other city services, DPI. So by the time you're done, you're winding up with, in terms of discretionary spending, very, very little. So, listen, I pay a lot of taxes too. I have a business, which is, we all know the commercial rate, and we have a split tax rate. So the commercial rate in New Bedford is very high for commercial, and it's a little less high in the residential side. But so I'm getting crunched both sides. I am also a homeowner. Nobody likes paying a lot of taxes, but I think we have to realize that these taxes go towards educating our children, goes toward paving our roads, goes towards cleaning up the trash, all these things. So in terms of lowering the taxes, I can't say that I have a plan for that, but in terms of making sure that we're getting a value for our taxes, I'm not afraid to roll up my sleeves and go through the budget. And if there's a way to save some money, we'll try to save some money. But I think that's also the thing is, running a business and stuff. I mean, running a food service business in 2025 in New Bedford, Massachusetts, the margins are slim. So I'm used to working with slim margins, and I'm used to looking on ways to be creative and how to save, to get the best value for the customer, being the city of New Bedford and the taxpayers. So that's what I can offer.
Yeah. Great question, Kel. I appreciate it. Ross, great question.
And also, can I just interject too? Anyone who says lower taxes and they're going to say, we're going to lower taxes and we're going to have a fully funded police department, the best paved streets, the best schools. It's like, don't believe it. It's just not. It's sad to say. I wish it wasn't the case, but it's impossible.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of things that are put on the town and cities are actually coming a little bit further from the state and federal level, and sometimes we're kind of stuck on the rates that we do have, so it's always a battle, and I just think that as long as we all stay educated and pay attention to what's going on, and have people in place like you to kind of really have an intelligent solution, resolution, or mediation of things that are going on with the city when it comes to taxes. Kel says, "Thank you for saying and getting a bang for your buck." Yes.
No problem.
Yeah. The good people right there. That was a good question. I just want to let you know that we are on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we are on Really Charlie podcast channel on YouTube. I'm going to add it to Spotify also, this podcast, and just to let you know that if you have to do something else or you have to get the message out, let me know and about anything, from this day forward. It may be even tomorrow. I forgot something. Let's talk about it.
Well, can I just plug for tomorrow? If I may, there's a Ward 5 forum. It's a Ward 5 debate with Joe Lopes and Renee Fernandez, and all the candidates at large were invited to write us. There's basically 10 almost essay questions that we had to answer in 150 words or less. There are varying topics, but we all answered those. And then we'll also be there. I'll be there for sure. This is at Hathaway School tomorrow night, Tuesday night, from 6 to 8. And I think I'm going to make a small statement, but then I'll be there to meet voters, neighbors, friends, whatever. And then the other at-large candidates were invited as well. So it'll give people a good opportunity to go and hear the Ward 5, if people live in Ward 5, or maybe they're just interested anyway, to hear that debate, and then also to meet all the council at large candidates who are able to attend. So I think that's a good opportunity tomorrow of what's going on. So
I'm gonna see if I think it's visible now on the screen.
Yeah, Ward 5 candidate forum, Hathaway School tomorrow night, Tuesday. Yeah.
And I stole it from your page just to give you some credit.
All right.
So man, I got a busy day tomorrow. I have in Ward 5 is my ward, so it definitely is very, very important that I hear some of the things, but I have I have a podcast from someone that I can't let this person slip out of my grasp. It's just a podcast that I have to have.
Yeah.
Put on the air tomorrow. So I'm gonna have to do the best I can. And then Wednesday's another busy day for me. But I wish both candidates a lot of luck. I've been strictly endorsing Renee Fernandez only because we just recently started working with a lot of things, and she's a great candidate, and she's definitely going to get my vote in Ward 5. Joe Lopes I've known for many, many years, and always had the respect for him, and always got a straightforward answer when it came to him and I having talking over the years. But I like Renee. I like what she brings to the table, and like to see her representing my ward.
Yeah.
So, oops, what did I do here? All right. So I keep flinching out on and off. All right, Devin, I definitely want to make sure that I give you the last word. And so, oops, I don't want to miss any questions. Laurie Silvera says, D Soups, and it deserves more than a slim profit margin. Number two, I would like to see at least 2 new councilors at large, James Roy and Devin, and get through this primary and get after the incumbents. Laurie, you know what? She comes from a political family, man. And you know what? This is one woman, right? And I know 2 Laurie Silveras, but this one right here, you know what? Every single day of the campaign, that woman was there for me, and one of the hardest workers that I have seen, especially when it comes to politics, and totally respect everything about her. So for her to say that and adding your name to those 2 new councilors, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think I'm really excited about this. I think James has run a really great campaign. He's very well organized, and I've known James for a while. I think that's the cool thing about this, and I think you can relate, Charlie. It's I know a lot of the people who are running personally.
Mhm.
Right? Personal relationships over the years, on and off with a bunch of different people, and similarly with sitting councilors. So it's really interesting to see these people sort of come together in this race and go for it, and it's exciting. And I think that hats off to anyone who, as you said, puts their hat in the ring and feels like they have something to offer and feels like they have, and gets up off the couch, figuratively and literally, and says, I'm going to put money where my mouth is. I'm going to put my time where my mouth is. I'm going to put my resources. I'm going to sacrifice some things to try to make this happen because it's important and because New Bedford's worth it. And I think there's real value in that. So I think, I'm excited to see the primary, but people have to get out there. Again, have to get out there. It's only the one race. So even it's gonna literally take you longer to walk from your car than it is gonna check that box or those boxes.
I agree.
Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 boxes. Maybe not 5 boxes, but I'm just kidding. But hopefully Devin gets one of those votes. But anyway, I think that people need to. It's important. It's important to get the people you want to see, through to the primary, through to the general election.
Yeah. Oh, you got my vote, and is like I'll never forget this story. Right, real quick. Someone said, "Oh, Charlie, you're a great guy, but man, Mitchell's my boss. I get it, but he don't know who you're voting for. Just cast a vote. You know what? Just cast a vote." But it's crazy. I can't wait. I can't wait to wake up early and go ahead and cast my vote for you. We gotta. Your wife said yes. Your wife said yes. You can run. You both had this agreement that you were gonna run. And you know what? I want you to be successful, and I hope that you do. Get in there. And I can't. When you eat some help in a restaurant, the only thing I can do is probably cook a few sandwiches and everything like that. And I'll put your crazy apron on, and I'll go wash some dishes in the back for you, so you can get to city council meeting and all that stuff,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get creative about some things, but where there's a will, there's a way. And as I said before, we had discussed it, my wife and myself, and with the restaurant, and it's important enough to come up with solutions in terms of managing to my time and managing my schedule. And I hope I get in so that I can figure out these solutions. But that's the main thing right now is this. Right now, I'm solely focused on winning the election, obviously, and becoming more educated about some of the issues and things like that. And as you mentioned before, I don't proclaim to be any expert on any single issue, but I think to have a working knowledge of things and to be able to go and reference maybe some people who are smarter about you in certain issues or better resources, I think that's also an important thing, to go at it with a sense of humility, to say, I don't know everything about everything, right? I mean, I know certain things. I have strengths and I have weaknesses, and to lean on people in your network who have those strengths that maybe you're lacking. I think that's also a big component of being a good counselor, and that's something I'm willing to do and something I've already done and in my life. So I realize that my baby blue eyes and sense of humor only get me so far, Charlie. But
that's it.
Yeah,
you got that Paul Newman look, man, and
I don't know about that, but
he's even on a spaghetti job, man. We need to do that, man. Devin, we'll put you in the back, maybe put a little label there, your picture, right?
Soup label.
Yeah.
With the Devin's own soups.
Hey, you tell your dad, man, I want him to go into your restaurant and I want him to yell, "No soup for you," because he could play that part, man. Your dad would play that part good, man, on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But I love you, man, and that's from the heart, and I wish you well.
Likewise, Charlie. Thank you so much.
And I got to get down there to eat some good food. And
if you come in on Thursday afternoon, you have a really good chance to see my father. Actually, he comes down. He volunteers at the Military Museum in the South End, Fort Tabor, and times on Thursdays after 4, he comes in after his post. We're open till 7 now on Thursday night.
Nice.
So you come on a Thursday at 4:30, you got a 50-50 chance of seeing the big guy. So, don't be a stranger.
I'm gonna have to get in there. Actually, I gotta find that picture that I said I would give to him. I get the picture. I just don't have the names to it, but I at least got to give it to him.
The Verdian Vets.
Yeah, that was for the museum. So I got to get that to him. So, Jason Mello says, "Good luck next Tuesday, Devin."
Thank you,
another guy that ran, and so he knows how it feels.
Jason and I had a nice conversation. That's the great thing about it, running also is you get to know people better, or you get to know people maybe you sort of knew periphery before, and and everyone right through the incumbents too, Charlie. I'm not gonna say a bad word about anyone. I think they've all been very gracious, and I think the process has been, thus far, the race has been very civil, and I think we've had nice discourse. And again, we're not all going to agree, right? We're all coming from different life experiences and different perspectives and different things that we have to offer. But I think as long as you do it respectfully, I think you can go a long way. And I think those are things that are missing in today's world. And I think it's getting face to face, getting in the same room, hashing it out. I think that's what keeps us from going crazy, crazy. And because you see it humanizes each other, right? I mean, maybe you say this and I say that, but we get in the same room and maybe I can see what you're saying a little bit. Maybe we're not going to walk out fully agreeing, but maybe I'll be like, okay, yeah, I can sort of see what he's saying. I think sometimes social media, you lose a lot of that. So
exactly.
I'm happy to meet everybody. And as I said, everyone's been really gracious and really helpful along the way.
Yeah.
So
true. I will produce some little video clips of this, so you'll have, and I'll share it on your Facebook page. I'll have them on mine. It's gonna take bits and pieces of this podcast by AI, and so I'll have it. Maybe some good sound bites for you.
Okay.
And it usually turns out to be pretty cool,
The greatest hit.
What's that?
The greatest hits collection?
Yeah. So, all right, my friend, you have a great night, and thank you for coming on the Really Charlie podcast.
Appreciate the time, Charlie. Thank you for having me, and thank you everybody for tuning in. And don't forget to vote on October 7th. Thank you so much.
All right, awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you. And I'm going to end this with our outro song of the Really Charlie podcast. And you take care, and please cast your vote for Devin Byrnes. Great man. All right, Devin, take care, man.
Yeah.
It's the Really Charlie podcast. Sounds so true. Grab a chair, pour out a glass. Let's